Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's John Gray, and I'm just plain living here with my partner, Mr. Jim Fuller.
Thank you very much, John. And we're without Miss Peggy this morning temporarily.
Temporarily. Peggy had an early doctor's appointment this morning. And
Peggy's here now.
Here she is.
Yeah, she can come on up here and join us.
She can come on up here and join up. Here's your microphone right over there.
John was talking.
Around behind.
John was talking prior to us coming on the air about the eclipse, and you watched it where?
Well, I had some business at the codes department, so I went over to codes, and I didn't even think about the fact about what time it was.
Yeah.
And so we were working on some paperwork, and Nina was working fast, and I said, "You don't have to rush." And she said, "Yeah, I do. I won't go outside and see this eclipse." Of course, they all had glasses.
Yeah.
And I tried to find glasses, and you couldn't find any anywhere. And so I looked up. I got one of them's glasses, either Nina's or Brian's or somebody, and put them on for about 30 seconds. And
yeah.
That was about all I needed.
Right.
You know, it was kind of cool the way it got real sort of like dusk.
It was kind of cool, a little bit eerie. I actually didn't go outside to watch it. I watched it on television because they had pretty good coverage. You know.
You could see it
all across the United States
20 times.
Yes.
You just go on Facebook and you can get 9,000
pictures of it.
It was pretty awesome, yeah.
And it was funny. Fran and I were eating an early lunch over at Nicholas's, and Richard Chastain came in, and I said, "Hey, Richard, how you doing?" I said, "You gonna watch the eclipse?" And he says, "No," says you can't even go outside and open your eyes, or you'll go blind. So you go outside and look at the ground and open your eyes, you'll be blind.
Our fire chief and police chief know too much. You know, they have too much knowledge. I'm a little concerned about that.
What I found interesting is there was probably, I know there was a lot of scientific research done during this by animal people.
Yeah,
to find out how it affected the animals, and I know the tree frogs were chirping that like they do at night.
And the cicadas
and the different animals. And as it was darkening, I was coming. I forget what it was. I was down here on Cedar Lane, and I saw a couple of deer by the side of the road, and they were just stopped, and they looked puzzled.
Yeah.
You know, they were just standing there and looking at one another like, what's going on? This is not right. So I imagine there was some really good research done on that type of thing.
I wonder, yeah. My cat went and ate again.
Must
like
be
it was supper time or morning,
yeah.
But I don't know if that meant anything. It was a nice day, though, because for once in a long time, people got their mind off of all the trials and tribulations of life.
That's true.
And that was
good. And everywhere you went, I mean, outside of Walgreens, outside of businesses, wherever, there were people were standing outside.
Nobody was protesting.
Nobody was protesting anything. Everybody was in a great frame of mind. Some people got very emotional over it. I don't know. It was just pretty cool.
You know, the doctor's office across the street from my office, I think all the personnel over there brought blankets and got out on the lawn.
Yeah, it was like a holiday.
Yeah, it was.
It was like a snow day. It's what it was like. You know, in the middle of the summer, we had a snow
day. Activity.
It was pretty cool.
I was at a memorial service, and these people had flown in from Ohio, and they said that getting a car was really tough. They had 10,000 rental cars out to be turned in this morning.
Yeah.
So many people came into
in every hotel room in Nashville or anywhere along that, close to that strip, nationwide had been booked for a year. Mm-hmm. So
a lot of
big
made.
Business, a lot of money was made.
Right. Yeah. So that was good.
I heard yesterday during Nashville's coverage that Nashville is within a one day's drive of 167 million people.
You're kidding.
Could drive to Nashville
in one day.
In one day, yeah.
67 million.
That's kind of what makes Tennessee attractive to
industry
is because you can get here
Oh yeah,
Pretty much.
pretty quick.
Yeah,
Pretty
over
quick.
half the United States can get here within a day. So,
So if you got a little piece of land, hang on to it.
they're right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's a fact, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a good place.
John and I decided before you got here, Peggy, we weren't expecting you that we would
Yeah, you were
talk.
going to talk about football.
Football.
But isn't it great that Tullahoma won?
Tullahoma won against Shelbyville and surprised everybody, and
Yeah.
they were tickled to death because some of those boys hadn't won a football game in 2-3 years.
Yeah,
They're growing up.
They're growing up.
They're
Well,
growing
and one of the
into their
reasons
game.
is that's true because these kids, a lot of them have had to play as freshmen and sophomores, so they're not babies.
That's right.
They know the score.
They
and
have been
play
battle tested.
Battle tested, played
Yeah.
very hard. We have some speed, and Shelbyville was shocked. Shelbyville has a very good football
Yes,
team,
they
and they
do.
came back and made a game out of
they
it.
sure did in the second half.
It was
and,
quite-
it was
it
quite
was close.
interesting.
It was exciting, and our defense, our young boys playing defense, did a great job. We're going to Manchester on Friday night for the coffee pot game,
Is it already?
and we've never lost it 3 years in a row. We lost it 2 years in a row, obviously, because we hadn't won a game in 2 years.
Right.
So
Well, this is
it'll be a
big.
battle.
It'll be a battle.
And they have a young man that's playing quarterback and receiver that signed with Tennessee.
Alontae Taylor, and
Yeah.
he's quite the athlete, and has been since he was a freshman.
Right.
I mean, when he came on the scene as a freshman, I think or sophomore, he started at quarterback for the Raiders
Right.
and Red Raiders, and so he's
But Mac McCurry's coaching in Winchester.
Yeah.
And they beat Manchester like a drum last week.
right.
So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But it's
anybody's
exciting.
game.
Yeah.
So are you betting on it? Are you
What about Tennessee? What's up with Tennessee?
There's a lot of unknowns there because their best players, all of them went to the pros.
Right.
And so there's a big quarterback battle up there between the guy who backed up Josh Dobbs last year, and his name escapes me, and I'll think of it in a minute. And, of course, they got a young redshirt freshman, Garantano, who is really a tremendous athlete. I think he was the number 2 quarterback in the country out of high school, and that did the spread offense. He's a multi-purpose quarterback. So.
Now, we still have that one running back left, don't we?
Yes, we got John Kelly, and John Kelly backed up Jalen Hurd and Alvin Kamara last year. He was actually the 3rd running back, but he averaged.
I thought
nearly-
Kamara was coming back
No, Kamara is in the pro. Kamara went pro after his
junior year.
Yeah, and is doing actually. Kamara's doing really well. He got 4 carries in the first preseason game and gained about 35 yards. One was a 22-yarder.
Who's he playing for?
He's playing for the New Orleans Saints.
Very good.
And he also
They need help.
Yeah, and then this past week, he broke one off for 50 yards for a touchdown. So he's really impressing. With
Yeah,
the New
well, he's the
Orleans-
right size and speed and all of that
Yeah.
stuff for that game.
Yeah. But John Kelly will be the man at Tennessee
Yeah.
this year. He'll be the starter. And they've got a couple of young guys coming in that probably can contribute
Good,
as well.
good.
So,
Oh, well, I hope Butch is successful because he's worked hard, and I hope they don't cut his head off before his time. But fans are brutal.
They are brutal.
It's cruel up there in the SEC or any college football program, I guess, major college football program, because you can win 8 games or 9 games,
10 games.
You know.
If you don't beat Alabama, it doesn't make any difference.
Look at Mark Rich in Georgia. He averaged 10 wins a year for, I don't know, 8 or 10 years down
Got
there.
5.
And they were just on him constantly. And then he left and went to Miami. I mean, how could that be?
It's a hard act to.
It's hard. It's tough.
Be in.
It's a tough deal. It is.
Well, and you look at Philip Fulmer at Tennessee, but he was let go in 2008, and he had won about 75% of his games over a 16-year career. So how quickly they forget.
They forget.
Oh, yeah. Here today, dust in the wind tomorrow.
That's right.
And hey, old Saban, he's built a brand new Mercedes-Benz dealership in Nashville.
Yes.
Where he can recruit from Tennessee.
There you go.
When you got money, there's no telling how you can get it done.
And it'll be highly suspect if you see a bunch of high school football stars driving around in a Mercedes.
There you go.
Somebody will have to check that out.
Yeah. Well, Peggy, we got through with South Jackson Goes Country one more time.
I know, and I'm still standing. Good news, yeah.
Yeah, good news. But I wrote something the other day, and I want you to, this is a 106. A cooker full of turnip greens, a chunk of coal. Performances in life's arena often reach their potential, advanced by pressure.
That's a good one. That's totally how it is, yeah.
Well done, my dear, well done.
I should have got more sleep last night if I was going to have to focus on that and kind of determine what John meant by that. Very good one. That was a good one, John.
Pressure bring pressure. I mean, it's just like you're talking about these sports the other night when those young boys had to hold off a better football team 5-6 plays from inside the 20-yard line. That's pressure.
Yes, it is pressure.
And pressure forces you to be the best you can be, or you bail out. You're either a finisher or you're not.
And by the way, if you are a Chevrolet Golden Eagle fan, don't despair. There's better things to come this year.
Oh no, they have great football team. They got shocked right there at the beginning because I'm sure you're going against a team that hadn't won a game in 2 years.
You're not real worried.
And you've got a good football team, and they have a very good football team. We were very fortunate.
They're very strong.
Yeah, and they say football's a game of inches, and I guess when it's first game of the year, there's sometimes those inches go the wrong way.
They make a big difference.
Everything that can go wrong does, and first thing you know, you're down 30 points. So.
Yeah. So
we got a lot of country boys in there.
That's right. Hey, we're getting the big X. Our timer's running kind of slow today, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with the rest of today's show, or all of today's show. See you in a minute.
Have you ever been involved in one of these? And you need one of these? Then look no further than the Russell Barnett Certified Collision Center with a state-of-the-art facility, aluminum capabilities, lifetime paint guarantee, Russell Barnett auto rental, claims assistance from start to finish. We are here to serve you. So stop by and let us show you why we are number one, the Russell Barnett Certified Collision Center.
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and this is our segment we refer to as Police Pointers, and joining us today is the star of this segment, Paul Blackwell, Tullahoma Police Chief, who's been on, we don't know where he's been. He missed one of the shows earlier this month.
I ran out on you.
Yeah, he's been on vacation to Colorado. So,
that's right.
Yeah.
It's good to be back, but vacation was very nice.
So when you were going to Colorado, I assume you drove out there, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Did you ever have an occasion where you had to say, "Officer, I'm not sure why you pulled me over, but I am the police chief in Tullahoma, Tennessee"?
No. In fact, when I drive, I stay under the speed limit, and I make sure cars are passing me, and I had no issues with law enforcement, other than talking to them on the streets.
So tell us the truth, Paul. Is there really not a get-out-of-jail-free card that all police officers carry in their pocket when they're out of their jurisdiction?
No, I mean, there's not. And, you'd like to, the term we kind of use is professional courtesy.
Yeah.
But, in the same sense, if you expect that professional courtesy, you're putting the officer in a bad situation.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing something wrong that causes that officer to talk to you, he's got to make an ethical decision, because the very next person he's got to stop, he's going to have to remember, well, I just let this cop go. I mean, as police officers, we should not put another officer in that position to start with.
Right.
So, that's kind of the way I look at it. You want to recognize what fellow officers have to endure and go through, but it doesn't give them carte blanche to violate the law or do anything that you would be held accountable for.
Okay.
That's coming from me as a chief.
Right.
Now street level officers, you can't be with them 24/7, and they do have discretion, and discretion is the ability.
And if you're somewhere in South Georgia, they may do it different than they do it.
They very well could. So there's no absolute get out of jail card, but there's a lot of other professions and organizations that we could bring up and talk about how they give special treatment to people of their profession, but we should be held to the same level of accountability as the citizens of our community. So they don't get a lot of sympathy from me. If you put me in that position where I got to make a decision, then I'm going to make what the right decision is.
That is a great answer to that question, Paul, and that was exactly the answer I expected. And also, I've lived in Tullahoma most of my life, and I know that get out of jail free cards went out the window a long time ago here. So.
And and I guess it's been a problem in other areas to where even the state legislature has passed laws now about things like fixing tickets and getting involved in issues like that. That now it's a criminal offense. So I'm not about to go to jail for the benefit of someone else.
Isn't it amazing how when you grow up, you start thinking, well, that would be stupid. Most people start thinking, not all of them, or you wouldn't have a job.
Yeah.
But you start, that would be stupid if I did that.
Yeah.
I am not doing anything that I might go to jail for.
I've been doing law enforcement for 35 years now, and there's been plenty of times where people have tried to use drop names or let you know that they know so and so, and say, okay, well, then hopefully those people would say you shouldn't have done what you did, and take it that way. But I'm a firm believer that officers have to be held to a strict degree of accountability, just as everybody else does. Maybe a little bit even more so, because we have that knowledge that the general public may not have.
And I think you're exactly right about that, because there's this term called you want to avoid the perception of impropriety. Yes. So a lot of times the average person might get away with something, and you would expect your officers, I'm sure, or you're certain yourself, that you're not going there, because even if it may not be illegal or the wrong thing to do, it kind of looks bad.
The perception's reality to a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah, and the perfect example is if you and I are out eating lunch and you choose to have a beer. If I have a beer in front of me, I'm automatically labeled a drunkard.
Right.
And that's how it happens.
Right.
Whereas, okay, you're just out having a beer at lunch. No issue.
Right.
But then if they see,
which by the way,
of course I wouldn't do it in uniform. I mean, obviously, I'm talking if someone just recognized me as, hey, there's a police officer, he's off duty, he's drinking a beer, he's drunk.
Right.
You know, and really that's not the case. So there's a lot of perception that's thrown in there, and we tell officers you have to be aware of that and conscious of that even when you're on your off duty and you're in your community moving around, people know you and people are watching you. Mm-hmm. Same thing we tell our kids, you know, hey, people are always watching you. Someone's always watching you. And so as police officers, we have to be aware of that, you know, even how we act when we're off duty in our community is reflective of us as police officers.
Yeah, and we have to remember also that if Paul were off duty, it's not against the law for him to have a beer at lunch if he wanted to, because beer is legal, of course, in this
but the
town.
Perception, you have to be aware of what someone may think.
Absolutely.
And when I am off duty, in fact, yesterday I was at the gas station gassing up one of the cars, and I saw someone I knew from town, and he looked at me and I said hello. He said, I didn't even recognize you in your street clothes, you know, and I get that all the time.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are people, though, that will see you and, you know, I'm a normal person. I mean, I have to go grocery shopping,
Right.
have to gas up the car, have to go to the doctor, have to do everything that everybody else does.
And Lenore still makes him take out the garbage.
I take out the garbage.
Right.
In fact, the car I was gassing up was her car.
Right.
So, yes, you know, we are still people.
Sure.
And we make mistakes. You know, I'll never stand up and say we're perfect. We make mistakes just like everybody else. And we just know that as police officers, there's that little bit of expectation that's a little bit more than what the average citizen is held to.
You know, we haven't talked again. We missed one of the segments, but since the last time I talked to you, I've had occasions where I've been a little frustrated with people on going through lights when they're yellow, and also turning right on red, because I've had instances where just because you turn right on red doesn't mean you're supposed to stop.
Right. It's not a freebie. I mean, and I'll tell you a good story before I get to that. When we were in Colorado, in one particular community, they had a sign up there that illuminated that said "No right turn on red."
Yeah.
It'd stay illuminated for a while, then it'd go off. So I'm asking my wife, okay, does that mean I can turn on red now? Because there's no signs or anything. And I'm sitting there, and then I started getting some horn honking. So I figured, okay, that means I can turn since the light went off. But, you know, it is somewhat confusing.
Yeah.
But in Tennessee, the law is that you can turn right on red if it's not posted otherwise. But like you say, you must come to a complete stop first.
Yeah.
Now, I could throw some other buts in there, you know, exceptions, but you know that would convolute muddy the waters, basically.
Yeah, and for instance, on Jackson and Cedar Lane, where Cedar Lane comes in.
I didn't want to bring that up, but yeah, that's exactly where I'm talking about.
If you're coming from North Washington, you have an arrow.
That's right.
And you assume you have the right of way as you turn left. And but the people coming down Cedar Lane, I don't think they realize that you have an arrow, so they refuse. They don't fail to stop.
A strange. It's a strange intersection.
It is kind of
not only the way it's laid out,
but
if you come from Washington Street, the lane next to Zaxby's is actually a right turn lane.
Right.
If you look, there's a yield sign there.
Yeah.
You don't have to come to a complete stop there.
Right.
You can continue to roll on around if it's clear. Same thing if you're coming south on Jackson at Hardee's, there's a dedicated lane to turn right.
Right.
When you have that dedicated lane and a yield sign, you don't have to come to a complete stop. Now that probably muddied everything I just said, but you know, a good rule of thumb is if the light's red and you're going to turn right, come to a complete stop and make sure that there's no traffic.
Right. Exactly.
And then you talk about the yellow lights. There's a state standard that a yellow light can be no less than 3 seconds in duration. So, you know, we'll hear people talk about it's a quick yellow. No, it's not. You know, they're 3 seconds. That's state law.
Right.
And 3 seconds is a long time. You know, so when these people say I couldn't stop, there are those opportunities or those situations where you're right at the safety line and it turns yellow and you have to go on through. But there's plenty of time to anticipate. If the light's been green for quite a while, it's about to turn. It's it's inevitable.
Right.
But the state law changed a couple years ago that says if your front wheels get beyond the safety line when it turns red, so if it's yellow and you cross that safety line, then it turns red, you're okay.
Yeah.
That you're not in violation of the statute. That's going to be a perception thing. Me as the police officer, okay, did your front tires get over the safety line, or were they just this side? But the best rule of thumb for that is approaching a vehicle, a light. If it's been green for a while, anticipate it's going to change. Start slowing down. As we've said in here, the yellow light does not mean speed up. It means prepare to stop.
Right.
Caution. And that's a big complaint that we get a lot, are people running the red lights.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, we can't put an officer at the red lights 24/7 to try to enforce that. And so basically it's if we see it, we enforce it, but we can't sit there. What the alternative is.
Yeah.
And we don't even use those words.
Right.
They're not
Right.
We don't use those kind of cameras.
Right.
And
Exactly.
and there's no talk of using them.
Right.
But I could see how if you have just an overload of complaints, that might have to be your remedy. Those electronic things.
However, my advice, and probably Paul's as well, it always pays, even if you have the green light, to look.
Oh yeah.
Because somebody's, it'll just save you a lot of trouble, perhaps an injury.
All you have to do is sit at an intersection, and you'll see those people that come through after the light has gone from yellow to red, and they're still coming through it, and that could be an accident waiting to happen, because there's only a short delay from the time a light turns red and the opposing light turns green.
Yeah.
There's a little lag time, but it's not 3 seconds like the yellow light.
Right.
So, it pays to take a minute and look to make sure there's no one coming through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Paul, I don't know how I survived this last 3 weeks.
Well, I hate to say it, but I didn't think about you much.
I know you didn't. I know you didn't, for goodness sake. But we are glad to have you back.
It's good to be back. It is good to be back.
All right, folks, we're going to be right back with more Living right after these messages.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community, because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Talking history about this and that. It's Conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman. And this is Pat Welch. And, John, we're here today for segment 58 of the Conversations with John and Pat. I'm going to sing a song by Hank Williams. I was inspired to some degree by Hank Williams because he was such a good songwriter. He wrote classics. He was certainly a good songwriter. Wrote over 500 songs.
John, I didn't realize. I saw something that I read, and I couldn't believe he did all that, but he passed away when he was 29 years old.
29 years old.
I did not, and I assume that's one of the reasons why he's such a legend.
29 years old.
You passed away early. And
had bad addiction problem with drugs and alcohol.
But 500 songs.
500 songs, and he did songs like "Your Cheating Heart," "Today I Passed You on the Street," "I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry," just one right after another. "Jambalaya," "Hey Good Looking." But I'm going to do one that he wrote called "I Saw the Light." I wandered so aimless, life filled with sin, I wouldn't let my dear Savior in. Then Jesus came like a stranger in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow in sight. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Once like the blind man I wandered astray. Dark is the road and narrow the way. Now I have traded the wrong for the right. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow in sight. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Praise the Lord, I saw the light.
Fantastic.
That's a
great
classical.
That is a classic. And Hank Williams wrote that also.
Hank Williams
I did not know that.
Yep.
500 songs. He lost his life at 29.
29. There was a young fella driving his car to a performance somewhere. I think it was like on January 1 or the last day of the year, or the first day of the. And it was real cold, and he was settled down with some sort of beverage and pills, and went to sleep back there and never did wake up. The young man didn't know what to do with him hauling around.
Not really good to have a body driving around town, that's for sure.
Let's go ahead and show that first slide, Philip, if you will.
Any segue here, John? We're just going to just plow into something.
Plow into it.
All right.
We're going to do that because plow, that sort of gets me into thinking that when we're going to talk about my mother's father's brothers, and Roscoe and Dewey Johns.
All right, your mother was a Johns.
Yeah,
and
Catherine
Johns
her
Rickman.
father's brothers died one day apart from the great flu epidemic. They call it a pandemic now, of 1918.
Wow.
And that's the tombstone of Roscoe. And he was married. He died first on December 1, 1918, at age 26.
This is Miss Catherine's. This is her great uncle's.
Yes,
it's her grandfather's brothers.
This graveyard is just outside of Igville, going on the Chapel Hill Road, toward away out of Igville, and it's behind the Fox Hunters Club. If you know where that is, Pat.
Not really, but this is one of the few things in your family lore that we've missed, and we're going to have to make another trip.
We'll go by there. And let me tell you about that particular tombstone. That is a Woodman of the World tombstone. And people who were members of Woodman of the World could get those tombstones. They would either be like a fallen tree or like a stump, and this is like a fallen tree.
They used to have a pretty good presence, the Woodman of the
Yes,
World
they
in
did.
Tullahoma. They sponsored either Babe Ruth team or Little League team for a long time.
They're the second largest distributor of the flags, except the other being the federal government. But he died on December 1, 1918, and then but he was a Woodman of the World, and that's why that rock still stands. That was a little bit interesting to me to find out about that particular stone. And he is Woodman Life chapters have paid tribute to heroes, victims of September 11th attacks of 2001, donated flagpoles, American flags to school, fire departments, parks, and other public places. I'm not as familiar with them as I ought to be. Our allegiance has been to Rotary.
That's right.
Rotary International, and the local.
I doubt we're going to have a Rotary tombstone, John.
No, I don't think so. But they died of the Spanish flu of 1918, and
what were the names again?
That was Roscoe.
Okay.
And go to the other tombstone. This is Dewey. Dewey Ransom Johns died 2 days later, on the 3rd of December 1918, at age 19 years of age.
Was his father, is that Victory Johns?
Victoria.
Victoria.
These are his parents, their parents.
Okay.
Ransom Johns was their father, and Queenie Victoria Baskin Johns was the mother. Queenie Victoria. I don't know how she got that name, but that was her.
Well, I'm not too sure the tombstone's not mismarked, because unless my eyes are really failing me,
I think it says Victory.
Yeah.
But I guess they paid for it and probably had it written down wrong and said, we'll have to take it.
That's
Don't know.
or the tombstone engraver may have said you got it.
But do you think about tragedies in families? I mean, these two strong, strapping type of boys who died, men who died.
Medicine has evolved so much that people of my era really, when you say flu, it's something you don't want, but you don't think about dying from it.
No.
Now, it wasn't many generations ahead of us when you talked about flu. You were talking about death if you weren't careful.
Well, let's talk about the 1918 flu pandemic.
Okay.
Back then, it would have been the Great Flu Outbreak or whatever they would call it, but was usually deadly. It was the first of two pandemics involving the H1N1 influenza virus. It affected, get this, 500 million people around the world.
Wow.
Resulted in 50 to 100 million deaths around the world. 50 to 100 million deaths. It was believed to have started in Spain, where the flu generally kills the very young and elderly. This flu is different. It predominantly killed healthy young adults. But some point to the origin of the Spanish flu. The first cases in the United States was at Fort Riley, Kansas, in the military. World War II was a big proponent of this being spread around the globe.
World War I.
What did I say, two?
Yeah. And
the troops were being sent all over. This hastened the transmission of the flu.
And they'd be the trench warfare. They were literally, the lines would just be several feet apart.
Yeah.
So you're rubbing elbows with the enemy.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be hard to.
But it's strange, it wiped out entire villages of folks in Alaska, tribes here and there. You know, it was really just terrible. And they said that when Roscoe and Dewey died, I'm not sure which, but there was a note written in some of the archives that I have where it said they wore aspidity bags around their necks because they didn't want to get the flu.
Oh, man.
And what was in that aspidity bag? I don't know. Is there? I don't know anything about it. I tried to look it up a little bit where I could tell you folks out there, but I'm sorry I wasn't able to do that.
John did say in your research, family research, how long they had it?
No,
Killian, just several
weeks.
Quickly.
It was quick. It wasn't long. 1/3 of the world's population was infected.
Wow.
It had been described as the great medical holocaust in history. It killed more people than the Black Death. This was 1918, 99 years ago. This went on. Get this. In 24 days, the Spanish flu took as many lives as AIDS has taken in 24 years. 24 days compared to 24 years.
Wow.
Let me say it again. In 24 days, the Spanish flu took as many lives as the AIDS virus has taken in 24 years. The magnitude of the Spanish flu was horrific, and certainly it was. But just a tribute to my great-grandparents, Ransom and Queenie. They went on. It didn't stop them. They kept going. And I would say that when tragedy hits in our family, when things are not pleasant, just go back to what you were doing and do the best you can with it. I'm sure they missed those two boys. And by the way, Roscoe has Howard Kirksey, of which many Tullahomans know, lives down toward Lynchburg, is a descendant of that group right there. So, Roscoe. So, it was good talking to you about this tragic reminder of almost 100 years ago, and about how it affected my family years ago.
John, you've educated me today. That's for sure. I appreciate all the research you did on that. It's a third of the population of the world with one disease is a frightening thought.
It really was. Yeah. Hit close to home too.
Right. And that, John, that'll wrap up. We don't want any flu, especially don't want any Spanish flu, but that'll wrap up segment 58.
You got your flu shot?
I've got it.
I have too.
We'll wrap up 58, but that won't be the end of the stories if management allows to continue on. Thanks, everybody.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat. Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. You know, they do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the Paint Works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, this past weekend, Miss Jessie Campbell and Cliff and a lot of the folks that are grads from TSU had an event in the Markham Center right next door to our studio over here across the hall, and it was a fundraiser for their scholarship program for this area's group of alumni, and the Hamilton brothers were over there. The fantastic Hamilton brothers were over there playing music, and we're going to bring you a couple of pieces in today's show. This is part of a song that was being sung about love, and just great playing, great entertainers, good music.
Put it on the floor, y'all. Put it on the floor. Bring it down to the floor. Love it. Y'all know this part right here. Love it. See, Al singing through his nose. Y'all put my nose right here. Y'all didn't know it worked. This is what it is, y'all. Since we're in the vein of our
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Maiden. And we
would like to welcome you to
Roosterware.
Yes, Roosterware is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterware specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterware.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're at the Hands On Science Center today, and it's their celebration, and there's all kinds of people around, and I'm going to film a magic show here in just a minute. There's our friend Becky over there with the gas company. Look at there. How you doing, girl? Good. How are you? Good to see you. So it's a fun afternoon. They've got bounce houses, and they're going to open up the Gothard star-looking telescopes and all that later on. There's the Mobi. He's right at the front door. So, and there's just people lined up everywhere taking part of all kinds of the great stuff that happens at the Hands On Science Center. Look at them, good-looking guys here. Yeah, this place is full today, isn't it?
Great.
Doing well, and you?
Yeah, doing good.
Oh, it looks like everything's great.
We've got a great crowd.
Good, that's wonderful. Doing everything in the world, and I mean, what a wonderful place, the Hands On Science Center. Right here in Tullahoma, Tennessee, and look at all of these kids, moms and dads. There you go, there's a friendly face right there. Yeah, look at them, they're playing games and running against the Jaguar, and look at all this great stuff going on. There's people everywhere. Hi. And it's amazing how these young people love these fish. There she is. How you doing? You knew I'd be here, didn't you? Huh? Hey, y'all have a full house, don't you? Isn't that wonderful?
It's great. I love it.
Yeah,
Everybody's having a good time.
Good. That's great. And so, what about the new room? Are people enjoying that?
Yes, it's a big hit, just like we thought it would be. No one's really asking about where's the shadow. It's a great hit, so we're glad we did it.
They love the fish too, don't they?
Absolutely. Get a good shot of our new poisonous lionfish.
Hands On Science Center. You can learn so many things about just about everything down here. Look at that, making music. Isn't that great? Making music at the Science Center. Looking at rocket engines and then this is the color room here. Look at it. Isn't this great? I mean, everybody enjoys this. This is something spectacular to be in Tullahoma. Isn't it? Oh, there's Belle. How you doing, dear? Good to see you. And so every move they make comes out on the wall in color. There's a gentleman, Ed Tannenbaum from California, came in here and installed this at the Science Center. He's put them in all over the world in science facilities.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Bob. Hi, gang. Well, I can't say thank you, camera ladies, today. I can say thank you, camera gentlemen and camera lady Jackie. Thank you for putting a good, contrasty, wonderful, sharp picture on the screen for all our viewers. And thank you, John, for that introduction, and Candy and Fuji. We've had a wonderful winter so far. Sun's out, and by the way, would you be my Valentine? Since today's I'll be your Valentine. This 14th day of February, 2002. Somebody asked me not long ago, said, they're talking about the different wonderful service clubs and organizations in Tullahoma, the Lions clubs, the Kiwanis clubs. There used to be a Civitan club here, and an Optimist club, and Junior Chamber of Commerce, and there are other clubs too. One in particular, though, people asked me about, said, well, how long has the Rotary Club been in Tullahoma? And I said, well, it's the oldest continuous service club in Tullahoma. It was founded or organized in 1921, and they received their charter in 1922, which makes it 80 years old, and it's been going strong ever since. And the Rotary Club was founded in Chicago in 1905 by an attorney up there by the name of Paul Harris. He was in his office daydreaming, I think, one day, and said, hey, his secretary or another attorney in there or somebody visited with him and said, said we ought to get together with some other business and professional people and exchange ideas about our career and our business. And sure enough, they started meeting together, 4 or 5 of them in different offices or different restaurants for lunch. And that's the reason they called it the Rotary Club, because they rotated between offices and they began to get organized informally, then formally, and they have a classification system in Rotary whereby only one or two from the different careers are classified to be and to have membership. In other words, they wouldn't want 50 or 60 insurance people or 50 or 60 grocerymen or all of the same vocation. They want to diversify so that they could exchange ideas about their career and businesses and meet new people, and that's the way it's been ever since it started. And the Tullahoma Club, as I mentioned, was chartered in 1922. The first president was a fellow by the name of Mr. Sharp Lanham that founded Lanham Manufacturing Company, which is now Worth Sports. But they met, there's about, I think, 15 and 20 of them met in the basement of the King Hotel for a number of years, and they would have programs among themselves or an outside speaker, or they have a big variety of programs. They have program chairmen for each week, and they meet every week in the year except at Christmas time. And they don't meet on the Christmas week or other time occasionally. But anyway, they do meet regularly, and one of the requirements for the membership is that members do have to attend their meetings or make up at a nearby club. Speaking of nearby clubs, the Tullahoma Rotary Club founded and was the founding father of the Winchester Club and also the Manchester Club. Up until recent years, there was 15, I believe, clubs in this district, District 6, 7, 8, and today there are 63 clubs in this district that is from Lebanon to Lewisburg and on over to as far east as Morristown and Knoxville and Oak Ridge, Chattanooga, and a lot of the clubs meet in the morning. There are 2 Rotary clubs in Tullahoma, the Noon Club, which is the oldest one, and it established the Morning Club in 1995, so that those that could not attend noon meetings could attend morning meetings. The Morning Club now meets at the St. Barnabas Church at 6:45 every Tuesday. The Noon Club had to move because from the basement of the King Hotel because they outgrew it, and met in the dining room of First Methodist Church for years and years and many years, and again they outgrew that and met at the what used to be the Commodore, which is now the Executive Inn, in their dining room, and outgrew it, and for a short time moved out to Archie's on South Anderson Street. Well, that wasn't big enough, and the way the dining room was arranged, it could not be the fellowship that's necessary for good Rotary meetings, so they were invited to meet at the Tullahoma Golf and Country Club, and which they still meet there. They have 125 members, and about, I'm guessing now, about 15 or 20 years ago, up until that time, Rotary had always been a male organization. No particular reason for it, except it was just that way. But now, I guess a good 20% of the membership in Rotary is women, and they are leaders in their profession or business too. And the Rotary stretches throughout the world, and many of their programs certainly are just local programs, like they sponsor Boy Scout troops, they sponsor a young man to to Boys State every year and have been for many, many years. And scholarships, they have a program where they send high school or college graduates on leaves of study in foreign countries. The exchange students do that. And we have a program whereby a group of non-Rotarians come from a district on some other continent, come and visit. I know last year there were 5 or 6 Russians that came to this area, Russian business people, and they were delightful and enjoyed their visit here. And we have exchange groups that go to Europe and South America and every other place. And there's a foundation called the Paul Harris Foundation that a Rotarian or anybody else can be a Paul Harris Fellow. Then they use those funds for education and for the exchange student program. One of the biggest wonderful programs that Rotary has done in many, many years, and it was started by the late James L. Beaumont, who was the president of Rotary International in 1980 and 81, and it was a Polio Plus program. Polio was running rampant throughout the world, and as a project, Rotary solicited funds among their own membership and gave millions and millions of doses of anti-polio vaccine throughout the world, and it is almost completely eliminated, especially in the underdeveloped countries of the world. And they have had projects in underdeveloped countries such as putting in fresh water and clean water wells and filtration plants. They have sent books and education materials throughout the world. I noticed in the latest Rotary magazine there was a couple of fire trucks that a couple of places in South America had no fire protection in their community at all, and the Rotary Club has sent fire trucks to those places. A great humanitarian place, and one of the successes of Rotary is that the local people get to know each other. The fellowship that's enjoyed within the Rotary Club is real pleasant, where businessmen exchange ideas and help each other. And I sure do thank you for watching today. This is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come, and we'll see you next week.
Maybe you were just building a bridge, a business, or a community. Maybe you were simply working for a home or a better tomorrow. At the time, you served out of duty and love of country. But in that time, we see a legacy created, an American dream lived. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
There is no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away, and choosing the right seat for your little one's age and size will take you down the road to safer travels.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
I'm meteorologist Leland Statham from the News Channel 5 Weather Center. Look to Jim Fuller and crew for local news night here on Channel 6.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and as I said the other night, the Hamilton brothers were across the hall doing a benefit for TSU, and this is their final song that they played that night. I was just blown away by it. Listen to the drummer, probably one of the best drummers I've ever heard in my life, and he's featured quite a bit on this, but the beat of this song, and it's a long song, but he keeps this thing rolling, and it's like a heartbeat. It is incredibly good. The Hamilton brothers.
your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and what a great band the other night and a great event. They're going to make that an annual event to raise money for TSU. So next year, you'll have an opportunity to hear the Hamiltons again. So stay tuned for that. Now, we have our friend, city friend, our television friend, the community coordinator, the man about town who knows all things good and great about Tullahoma, Winston Brooks.
Well, thank you for that introduction.
How are you, sir?
Fantastic. It's great to be in Tullahoma.
Did you watch the eclipse yesterday?
I did. That was really cool.
Well, it was cool, wasn't it?
I never have witnessed anything quite like that before. And nice kind of eerie calm came over Tullahoma yesterday about 1:30.
We compared it to a snow day.
It was sort of like a snow day.
Sort of like a snow day. Everybody, like Peggy said, and she said for a short period of time, people forgot all the garbage going on around them and focused on something outstanding.
Right. Focused on the sun god.
Yeah. Ra.
Yes.
So it was great. It was a great event. But there's all kinds of. I noticed I was at Codes, and I noticed at Senior Citizens and the library. There were all those parking lots were full, and they were having a big party over there, and great things happening in Tullahoma.
A lot of public events for the eclipse yesterday, and many private eclipse viewing parties too. I know at City Hall. We paused for a moment, walked out back, and in the back parking lot, some of the folks from the accounting office next door and the restaurant, everybody sort of kind of had an impromptu eclipse party.
Yeah.
So it was fun. Yeah. And then it went dark, when it went light, and we all went back inside.
Everything went back to normal.
But it was exciting. It was a fun day.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So we'll see it again we won't see it again, but 2024 is the next one, so maybe we can travel. I'm just glad I didn't spend a lot of money on a hotel room somewhere.
Yeah, isn't that true?
Man. But no, there's so many exciting activities going on in Tullahoma. I just want to share a few of those with you and
fill us in on the latest and greatest.
The latest and greatest is two things. A couple of projects that are going on that I think the community will be interested to know about is, number one, is the downtown Wi-Fi will be installed today. So what that means is you may see the TUA crews out there on the poles and installing the access points. There'll be a little bit more testing, and within a few weeks, I think that Wi-Fi network will go live.
Go live.
And so we're looking forward to that to help the visitors down there stay longer. We're going to hopefully attract some of the pass-through traffic that comes through and to convince them to stop in. And then the other part of that project is we're working with the Tennessee College of Applied Technology, and they're going to bring some of their students down and train the business owners, and they're also going to host several public seminars.
Oh, great.
So that'd be great to get the word out on how best to use that Wi-Fi for marketing, and then also the public seminars will also have some interesting information for the public at large about Wi-Fi networks in general, and the Tullahoma Wi-Fi network, the downtown Tullahoma Wi-Fi.
And this is free.
It's free. It's a pilot project, and hopefully, if this goes well, we'll expand it to other areas of the community. Because why not?
Why not?
We're a gig city.
Exactly. We're a gig city.
And TUA is a great partner to work with, so we're lucky to have them, and lucky to have all the leadership that we've got in this town to keep moving it forward. We also have got a Get Fit Tullahoma event that starts tonight in partnership with Mach 10 Running Club out at Fraser McEwen Park, 6 p.m. The third annual Couch to 5K. So if you want to run 3.2 miles with a great group of people, I mean, there's usually about 100 people, and then they divide you up into like everything from people who think they can run it in 7-minute miles to 10, 15-minute miles, divide up, and they'll train you for the next 6 weeks, and they are only cost is to sign up for the Jack Dash in Lynchburg, and the group will then complete that race right there. There's some other races coming up too that you could do, but it's a great training opportunity, and so many people now have gone through that program and really changed their lifestyle, and they're very thankful for the Mach 10 Running Club having gotten them off the couch, so to speak.
Okay, I know you might have something else that I'm going to ask one. The Greenway, what's happening with the Greenway? I know we were making plans to go from the Senior Center on over to Lincoln Street. How's all of that working?
Well, we are still making progress on that, and right now we're in negotiation with easements.
Oh, okay.
And so that if we can get the easements, we've got the money, and we're going to make it happen. Right now, we're just having a little bit of difficulty nailing down the route because of
easements,
private property.
But we're working on that, and that'll be great when that happens.
Oh yeah. No, that's one of the main things that Mayor Curley and the Board of Mayor and Aldermen want to do is continue to extend our greenway system, our walkability, and that's part of that Cool and Connected project, which was part of the Wi-Fi project, was connecting our community to the business districts, to the neighborhoods through pedestrian paths.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
sorry if I threw you off your course. What else we got?
We've got a great Parks and Recreation Department. If you haven't been following along this summer, you just sort of been living under a rock, I guess. But so this Saturday we've got A Dog's Life movie in the park. We've got Journey concert coming up September 15th. We haven't even started promoting that, so that's first here on News 6. We've got an adult football league, which sign-ups are till September 7th. Have a kickball league, and most of the kids out there will really enjoy this. There's a Madden tournament, and it's I guess it'll be Madden 18. I don't know if they're playing on Madden 17 or Madden 18, but the winner gets the new Madden 18, which just came out today. You knew that?
Good. I know I didn't, but I know now.
Yeah, Madden 18. You need to get yourself a team, get it going, get it built. And
we need to have an Olive 25.
That would be good, yes. They have some SEC things, but they hadn't gotten down to the high school.
I know. We got about 10 more seconds.
Okay, finally, Haunted Hayride will be coming up. So if you've got a group that wants to do a Haunted Hayride display, call 455-1121. Call the Parks and Rec, get it set up. It's going to be fun.
Winston Brooks,
thanks for
thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. We'll be right back after this.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and Peggy, just another good show.
Stop in to say hello,
and you get held here in a hostage for an hour.
Okay, I got a lot
we don't know what we'd do without you. Hey, folks, we appreciate you watching what we do here. Thank you very much for allowing us to be in front of you for 25 years, and we hope we can do it another 25. We love you. Be safe out there. We'll see you next time. Hey, Wildcat football. Friday night, Coffee Pot, Manchester. Be there. See ya.